All right, another training week in the books, and I had some high expectations for this week because I was feeling really good coming off that heavy double from last week on squats. This week I had heavy double for bench press. Before we got there though, I had to do some deadlift work on my day one, so 4 sets of 6 with like 446 pounds. These moved okay. Decided to use the Texas deadlift bar just because I never use it, and the whip at the top of the lockout really threw me off just a little bit, but again, nothing much to really put too much of a damper on my day. From there, did some back off deficit work before moving on to sets of 8 and back squats, and these have been feeling great on day one as I've been talking about all training cycle. I feel really loose and really strong, so just continuing to add 2.5 to 5 kilos per week. So this is like 402 pounds for a couple of sets of 8, and I feel like I could have been done doing these all day. The only really downside for me on this is by when I do get to my main squat day, which is day 3, my hips feel a little bit tight and I feel like I'm not as loose as I need to be. My depth is a little bit worse for wear and the weight doesn't always move as good, but again, overall squats are feeling really good this training cycle, so can't really complain. So my heavy double on bench that I worked up to ended up being about 320 pounds. The first rep moved okay. The second rep, I felt moved like garbage. One of the things that I really want to look at is my bar path and where my elbows are. Where I touch on my sternum, I feel like I'm not really getting that drive back, and instead I'm trying to push up more, which in turn is going to limit what I can do. So I want to really kind of play around with some stuff and really take advantage of filming from the side like I do in order to get kind of better at benching, if you will. I will say the back off sets here at 130 kilos or 287 pounds did move much better. Obviously it's lighter, so that's one of the things, but I feel like my bar path was a little bit better, but still really want to work on that elbow position at the bottom of the reps. On my day 3, it actually ended up being a day later than normal. I was in Boston for work on my Wednesday and Thursday, sitting mostly all day, which was awful on my hip. So as I kind of alluded to before, I wasn't really feeling it this day, but luckily it was just sets of 3 with 170 kilos, so nothing too bad. Moving on to my last day of training, which ended up being on Saturday, I got to finally break out this strong arm sport combo rack you guys may have seen on my Instagram. So I'll give you guys my full feedback on this as I go, but I used this day to really just play around with bench, and I actually ended up misloading and did 100 kilos instead of the 122.5. But things felt well, and good way to end the week, and looking forward to this week where I'll be testing out on doubles on deads. So we'll talk to you then.